Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Eva Anthony here again. Today's video is a makeup tutorial for this our hot weather. I feel like we're about going into that time of the year when it gets really hot. Even though it's almost hot every time of the year. I have an everyday makeup tutorial on this channel, but on that video I did not talk about how to manage your makeup during the hot weather or during summer, as the case may be. So I decided to drop a tutorial like this just in case some of my babes are looking for a tutorial like this. So this is like a 2-in-1 kind of video. I would also be putting out a detailed video on tips to achieve a sweat-proof makeup very soon. So turn on your post notifications so you get notified whenever that video goes up. Without talking too much or talking any further, let's get started. You need to use is your primer, especially when you have oily skin. Now you don't want all of those oil to start seeping through your whole makeup, so you really need to use a primer. In as much as a primer does not control oil, but at least it can do something when it comes to oily skin. So this is the first step that you need to do, especially when you know that you have things to do during the day. You want to make sure that you don't skip this step. Now after using your primer, you want to make sure that you allow it to settle in for a bit, and then the next thing I'm going in with is my setting powder. So I'll be using a setting powder, and I would suggest that you use a translucent powder because it doesn't have any form of color. It's white, and the translucent powder that I'm going to be using today is the S-Pon loose face powder, and I'll be using a powder puff to apply it all over my face. Whenever you're applying this, you want to make sure that you tap or you pat it into your skin. You don't want to just apply it like this. No, you need to pat it into your skin. What this does is that it helps set the primer, and it wouldn't allow oil come through as easily and as quickly as it would normally do. Personally, I like to do my skin work first before I do my brows, but if you are someone that likes to do it the other way, then go ahead and do that. Eventually we're all going to get to the same destination. So for foundation, I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Makeup in Mahogany. When you know that you're going to be sweating wherever it is you're going to, or you know that you are going to be doing some strenuous activity, I suggest that you go in with a lightweight foundation, because I know it's going to be really hot outside and I don't want my foundation or my makeup to start looking or feeling heavy on my face. For concealer, I'll be going in with LA Girl Pro Conceal in Beautiful Bronze. Now remember that we're going for a natural look, hence why I am using a concealer that is like my exact shade, because I don't want my whole face to be too bright. If you want, you can go ahead and use a lighter shade. It all depends on you, or you can top up with a concealer that is a bit more lighter when you blend this out. But I'm doing this before I blend out my concealer because I want to give my concealer a little time to dry down, which would help in giving me a fuller coverage. I'll be setting my under eye area with my mixture setting powder. I'm very sure you guys are tired of hearing that mixture. I'm going to be going in with Beauty Line by Didi brow pencil to line my brows or fill in my brows. and then I'll go ahead to conceal or clean my brows. The concealer I'm using is the LA Girl concealer in Beautiful Bronze, the one that I used to highlight. So I'm going to be pulling down any excess concealer, and then I'll be blending it out because it's going to help me when it comes to my eyeshadow. So why I brought down the concealer is because I am one of those people that have darker eyelids, so I'm trying my best to like make sure that the concealer touches my eyelid, just so that it doesn't affect my eyeshadow application whenever I want to apply that. I have a detailed eyebrow tutorial on my channel, and I'm just going to be linking it up there just in case. I would not normally use this brow tint, but because we're trying to avoid any form of oily or waxy look on our brows, because some people's brows tend to get very oily, so because we're trying to avoid that, I'm going to be using this brow tint from Beauty Line by Didi, Secure the Brows. This is especially for those people that have very sparse or not so full brows. Yeah, I am lucky to be in the department that has full brows, so I do not necessarily have to use a brow tint for my brows. But if you have very light or very sparse brows, or your brows are not so full, I'll suggest that you get a what's it called? I suggest that you get a brow tint, and this one from Beauty Line by Didi is really nice. It's very nice, and it's in the shade taupe. It helps secure your brows, and it will also help in leaving your brows looking very natural. It's time for eyeshadow, and the first thing you have to do when it comes to eyeshadow is you have to go in with an eyeshadow primer. And the first thing you want to do is that you have to go in with an eyeshadow primer, especially when you have oily lid. My lid is not so oily, but it can get oily, but there are people that have very oily lids, so you want to make sure that you go in with an eyeshadow primer. For this type of eyeshadow primer, which is, I hope you guys can see, which is creamy like so, I suggest that after you apply it, you make sure that you set this eyeshadow, this primer, especially if the primer is like this one that doesn't leave any color. Yeah, so you want to make sure that after you apply it on your eyelid, you set it. But if you like using any of these two, which is the P. Louise base or the Clan White eyeshadow base, if you like to use any of these two, you don't need to set it when you apply, because by the time you apply it, it will definitely leave a form of color. So the only thing that I would suggest that you do, or the only thing that I'm going to tell you to do, is to make sure that you blend it out very well so that it doesn't leave any creasing on your eye. So you want to blend it in properly. And I would also say you don't want to go in with so much, instead you build up. But when you just want to go in, you go in with a little, and then you start building up from there. So I'm going to be using the Clan White eyeshadow base for my eyelid today. For eyeshadow, I'm going to be going in with this shade here. It's more like a reddish brown, and I prefer to use browns when it comes to whenever I'm doing an everyday makeup look. So I'm going to be using that to apply on the crease of my eyes. So basically I'm just going to be using just 2 shades of eyeshadow. You can use one definitely, but because I want to get this like a very dark brown effect, not so dark anyway, hence why I'm going to be using 2. So this brush is a random fluffy brush. I don't know who it's from. I just got it from a supermarket around. So also you can just apply this and go like this, you get, or you could apply your eyeshadow all over your eyes. Now I'm going to be doing both, but you can do whichever you prefer. So going in with another brown shade from the Zaron palette, I'm going to be using this shade in Dew with another fluffy brush. I'm just going to apply this all around my lid now. I'm using a fluffy brush because I don't want too much color. I don't need that, so hence why I'm using a fluffy brush. But if I want more color, I'm going to be going in with a more dense brush. Moving on to mascara, I am using the Zaron Lengthening Mascara. For lashes, I'm going to be using this one from Beauty Line by Didi. Why I'm going to use it is because I do not want to apply an eyeliner. I don't want to apply any liner on my eyes. Hence why I'm going to be using this kind of lashes, because it wings out and it's still going to give us that same look that a winged eyeliner is going to do. Honestly, I do not find it very hard anymore to pop on my lashes, considering that I am the president of the curly lash gang. I am their president. Now my lashes are very coily, like perfect circle. They curl into themselves. So yeah, but I do not find it so hard anymore. And all I'm going to say is, if you're still finding it hard, you just have to keep practicing, like practice, and then more practice, and eventually you're going to get better. I'll be lining my waterline with the Mabruk pencil. I'm just going to be lining it lightly. I'm not going to be making it too dark. And I'll be smudging my lower lash line with the same eyeshadow I applied. Then I'll be going in with my mascara for my lower lash. I'll be dusting off my setting powder, or rather I'm going to be pressing it into my skin. To set my contour, I'm going to be going with this dark shade here from the Flawless Ivy powder palette. For blush, I'm going to be mixing these two shades right here from the V Beauty blush palette. For highlighter, I'm going to be going in with my all-time favorite highlighting palette, which is the Hege and Esther Flash Pan, and I'll be using this shade Friday. To set my face, I'll be going in with the Milani Make It Dewy setting spray. Then I'll be going in with my powder to press in lightly, to press in the setting spray into my skin. To line my lips, I'll be lining it with the Beauty Line by Didi lip liner. I'll be going in with these two lip glosses from Zaron and Nuban Beauty. So to finish this look, finally, I'm going to be going in with the setting spray again. And we're done. So I hope this helps, and I hope you like it. So give this video a big thumbs up, drop a comment, and subscribe if you're yet to. And on this note, I hope to see you in my next video. Don't forget to take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram, okay? Bye.